Now the one of most important thing is the if statement. If you guys don't know the if statement, there's a lot of stuff you can't do in PHP. So if you're familiar with other languages, just basic syntax, except in Visual Basics it's a little bit different, but this is not Visual Basics. So we put if, and the statement that it checks is you. So that means inside the parentheses, we put two parentheses and then two braces. So inside the parentheses, if the statement inside the parentheses is true, then it will do the stuff inside the braces. So let's make a statement. So put my age and make it whatever. So then we're going to put if, then my age equals 13. So now what this is it's checking, does this my age equal 13? And comes here, does it equal 13? Yes, it does. And make sure there's two equal signs. And then since it equals 13, it will do everything inside these braces. So now we're going to echo you 13. So now if we debug this, it says you are 13. So your age is 13. Now if this is 14, I'm 14, it won't do anything because I'm not 14. So it's checking if it's 13. So then let's make this back to 13, and then we're going to say, so once again it checks, is this true? And it is true. So then it does this. So now some of you may know that you don't have to put the braces. So it will still work. So now why do we put these braces if we don't have to? We don't have to. Well, if we don't put the braces, it will only run the one line. So if I put an extra line of code, so if I just do this 2 times, the second line it will run even if I'm not 13. So then I have to put the braces because I'm running 2 lines, but in this case I'm only running 1 line of code. But I just like to put the braces anyway. So if I'm not 13, then it will, then we're going to put sorry, you can't be on the site. So I'm 13, but now let's change the age to 15. So let's see what it says now. Sorry, but you can't be on the site. So that's just a simple way of an else statement. So what else is there in the else statement? You could put else if. So then it checks if your age is 18. So then if your age is 18, then it says you can't be on the site. And if it's not 13 or 18, it will say, please enter your age. Please enter your age. And just to make this look like we have a thing, so we'll type equals text. And now what this will do, it will cause an error. So we have to put a backslash before the thing, so it doesn't end the quotes. So it won't be an error. So now let's try it. So it says you are 13. Now let's change it, the age to 18. So now if I'm 18, it will say you can't be on the site. Sorry, but you can't be on the site. And if I'm anything else, 124, yeah, right. Please enter your age, and then it gives me a text box to enter your age. So this text box doesn't do anything, but it just does the check. So now let's do some other stuff. So let's say we're making a site for that's PG-13 and up. So make an if statement saying if my age is, whoops, I did this backwards. So now it checks if I'm 14, I'm allowed on the site. If I'm 15, I'm allowed on the site. We'll just make this 12. So if I'm 13, 14, 15, 16, I'm allowed on the site. But if I'm less, I'm not allowed on the site. So echo, you are allowed on the site. And else, we're not going to use the echo, we're going to use the die. Now what the die does, it stops all other lines of code. So if I put a line over here saying echo, so let's say welcome to the site. Site at the end. Sorry, but come back when you're older. So let's run this, but let's see what this is doing. So now it checks if I'm 13. So now since I'm 13, it checks if I'm over 13. So since I'm over 13 and over, it says you are allowed on the site. And then this is out of the if statement. It says welcome to the site. So, and over here it says die. Now die just outputs the line, but what the die statement does is it stops the die function naturally. It stops running all other lines of code. So everything over here won't be run. So this won't be done. So it will be like, just sorry, you can't come on the site. So let's test that. So it should say you are allowed on the site, then welcome to the site. And else if I'm 1, sorry, but come back when you're older. So this is like if you're making a PG-13 site or something like that. Okay, so now let's just make it a little more complex and then go on to the next tutorial. So come back when you're older, and then we're gonna say so my age minus equals, so this is the minus equals is the same as saying my age, equals my age minus a number. So that's what minus equals is. So instead of saying that, we just type in my age minus equals and then put the number. So we're going to say my age minus equals, and then we're going to say actually we're not going to do minus equals. We're going to do equals 13 minus my age. So, and then sorry, come back when you and then we'll give a specific age. Come back in years. So now let's run this. You're all allowed on the site, so let's make it like 5. So actually let's make it like 10. So now since you're 10, you have to wait till you're 13, so that means you only have to wait 3 years. So it will say, sorry, come back in 3 years. Now how does it do this? So the my age equals 10, okay? So then it says 13 minus, so then it checks, so am I old enough? And then it says no, I'm not old enough. So it does this line of code. So in this line of code it says 13 minus your age, so 13 minus 10 equals 3. So it says die, come back in 3 years. So that's it for this if statement.